Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guy, and this is episode number 5 of the memory based puzzle game thing that we were making. And in today's video we are going to we're basically going to finish the most of the mechanics. So in the last video we had a pretty much complete game. As you can see, I can show tiles, so I remember, and I need to remember what tiles they were, and then I need to collect the ones that are similar. And if I do that, then I keep getting more and more of these. But the point is that one thing that we do want to do is want to keep the track of the amount of turns the player is taking, so that the player can actually learn and try to take less turns. And we also need to have a winning screen and a end screen and stuff like that. So yeah, let's do that. So first of all, the very first thing I want to do is I need to first of all go under my scripts folder, and I'm going to open up the player script here. Now, if you remember, we actually programmed this thing in the last video. Let me go back to normal view. I've got debug here. Okay, I'm going to maximize the window, and in here you can see that we have got a bunch of stuff. You should remember all of this from the last video. And in here, in this else statement, what we are actually doing is we are in here we are actually scoring by matching two correct tiles. So what we need to do is now we need to have a private no, not really, well, all right, private int called score. All right, we don't actually need that. Just like we only need one int, which is a private int called tries, or maybe you can call it I don't know, moves, I guess. And the goal is to do the whole thing in as less moves as possible. So each time actually, so each time we execute this, we want to only do it on the second one. So the point is that we do not want to okay, so in here you can see we are actually executing this statement where we are going tiles.count is equal to 1. By the way, this statement should never actually execute, because that is never supposed to happen, this thing. And even if it does happen, it is never going to happen. This thing that we have got is never going to happen. This statement is just for kind of making sure that nothing goes wrong. And in here we are actually doing it after every two things, so we can just go ahead and say move plus plus to increment it. And of course by default it should be set to 0. And one more thing we want is we want a private tmpro.textmeshpro. You can of course use tmpro if you want to do that, and this is going to be called our move text. All right, and then we are going to, in here we are also going to say where is it? Okay, move text dot set text, and we are going to set our text to be our move dot to string, of course. Yeah, and this should actually work. So let's go under Unity, and let's just compile, because it is going to take a little bit of time. So once it has compiled, we are going to of course add our UI element. So yeah, just wait for it to do everything. All right, right click, add in a UI, text mesh pro here. Of course, import all of the TMP essentials. This doesn't take that long, just a couple of things. You can use the legacy UI if you want, but that's not what you should be using at all. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this text, and I'm going to make sure that it is the corner, and I'm going to make sure that the y is set to 0 and x is set to, okay, we want it at the corner, top left corner. And in the for the pivot, okay, the pivot should be set to 0 0, so that we can, okay, not 0 0 1 1, 0 0 is fine, okay, 0 1. All right, 0 1 is the perfect one. So we can move it forward on the x to be 50, not 50 really, 30 or 20 is enough. And position y is going to be 20 as well. The point is it's supposed to be -20. And I'm going to change the text here to something like score moves, and I'm going to decrease the font size to 28, so that it's not that large. And we need to go under the player script and do one more thing, which is we need to set this to be like this. And I'm going to remove this, and okay, come on, I'll remove that, and then I'm going to say here move and set it like that. All right, this should work, and it is actually going to function completely fine. So now what we need to do is like compile, then we need to select the camera, and then I can just take the text mesh pro, and okay, the point is that all right, The real reason this is happening is that this needs to be serialized. Alright, so if it is serialized, we should get an option for setting the text image pro in the player script here. So as soon as it's compiled, you should see an option pops up here, and we can just drag our text mesh pro in here. And once you have done that, I'm going to go full screen and I'm going to hit play, and hopefully everything will work pretty fine. So let's see. So the moves by default are okay. We need to make sure that our text is by default correct. So move 0, alright, and that's better. Now we need to remember do it in as less moves as possible. So the way it will work, so you can see it's move 0. Once I click to stuff, it increases to move 1, and this is move 3, and I am going to try to do it in as less moves as possible. And I'm not that good at this game, but well, you can see that it's kind of a nice way of doing stuff. Now I do have a bunch of more things that I would like to implement, but in today's video, one more thing that I am actually going to implement is that I'm going to make it so that when we actually, you know, the actual tile disappear, they have a slight delay and an animation instead of just disappearing completely, which gives the player a little bit of feedback. So yeah, we need to implement that now. Alright, so implementing the delay is really easy. I'm just going to go here and let me just move this to the top. Okay, not that much. And I'm going to have a private bool here called, just call it busy. And by default, it will be set to false. And what we will do is the update method. Along with checking that, we need to check if our that our busy variable is not true, and if it is true, then we will not execute this statement. And well, one more thing that we need to do is if I go down here, you can see where we are actually trying to destroy these tiles. Instead of just destroying them, I'm going to actually cut these two statements and go under here. I'm going to add a private void here called destroy tiles, and well, we are going to have it do that instead. But the point is that currently we haven't got tile, so even if I take a tile called tile, this is going to be, by the way, a I enumerator. uh, Oh, by the way, you need to be using system.collections in order to be using the non-generic I enumerator, but we are already using system.collections.generic, so it is causing a little bit of conflict here, but that doesn't, because now it's working. So I'm going to say yield return and new wait for seconds. So wait for seconds, and the seconds are going to be just for and how much seconds we should wait for. Well, we need, for that we need to have another, I'm going to just have another serialize field here, serialize field, a private float called destroy delay, destroy delay. Alright, and in the destroy detail method we just call destroy delay. And one more thing we do is in the start of this method we set busy is equal to true, and then in the end, when we have done everything, we set busy is equal to false. So this will wait for these seconds, of course. We should wait for this amount of time before it destroys that actual thing. And of course, what we need to do is we need to go under here, and instead of doing this, we need to just say start coroutine, and I'm just going to say destroy tile and give it our tile as a parameter. And also this statement here should be in here as well. Alright, just press shift alt F1 to format everything, and this should actually work provided that our destroy delay is above 0. So let's go in here. By the way, if it is in negative, then it won't work, of course, because how can it work? And let's go under our main camera, because the player is on there, and if I add a delay of 1 second, alright, then what you should see is that it takes 1 second before our any tile get destroyed. So if I click this tile and I click this tile, okay, pink pink, I select those, it takes a little bit of time. And the point is that this, while this is working, it is not the best way, and the reason is that when we are doing this, we also need to say tile.unlock, and if I do that, the color of the tile will become apparent as well. So let's go under Unity and let it compile once more, and hopefully this will cause everything to work. So let's just hit play, and well, let's hit start, and if I select this and blue, red, yellow, okay, this was yellow, and if I select this, you can see it says yellow, and then it has a little bit of time before it goes off. Even though I think 0.5 seconds should be pretty much enough. Blue and blue, and yeah, that's awesome. we might add animations later. So I will see you in the next video, and make sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one, and also check out my other channel, and bye.